We're gonna have Team Adonay versus Team Betty.
We're gonna have a poll, and then we're gonna see who's gonna.
Let's see. This is my family, my
Vote
loyal
on the
family.
Vote on the comments.
Yes.
I have a question for you. I don't get introduced into your show.
Yes. Let's do our intro. Welcome, and welcome back to the Leeds Podcast Show. If you're new, welcome, and if you're our OGs, welcome back. And we're very happy to do this season, our new season 2, baby. Let's go. Drum roll. Season 2. We have a lot of guests, right? But before we talk about guests, I want to introduce myself. My name is Adonay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the host of this show, and I did host last season by myself. But now this is a new season, new beginning. Our beautiful sister Betty is in the building.
Too hot.
You want to introduce yourself?
Well, family. The Lit family.
Yes.
My name is Betty Mac5. You can find me on IG. Don't forget to follow. For those of you that are new, like, follow, subscribe.
We have Betty. Betty, do you want to give them your background, your education background? Where do you live?
Well, I don't like talking about myself, but if you guys ask, I will give you guys a little rundown about me. I am a University of Toronto student, second year student.
So nerd.
I am majoring in health studies, minoring in linguistic and health humanities. It is a very broad studies, I know, but it is something that I am interested on, and hopefully will be put into good use. I live in Canada. Toronto,
baby.
This season, we brought to you guys a very, very special topic that we think would touch on a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, and we're gonna learn a lot, hopefully. And we decided to bring to you guys about mental health within the youth, the adults, and those in the working force. Our guests are going to be professionals throughout this mental health services that they're in, and hope you guys will like it. Hope you guys will be entertained. We would like to hear your feedbacks, your comments on each episodes, and go on from there. We're trying to make it a very interesting, emotional season.
So this is a new studio, but we want to shout out. We want to say a big thank you for our sponsors. Zanta Media sponsored us this
amazing studio.
These
amazing effects.
I know the lighting. If you go to my Instagram page at Adonay ADONAY 12.12, you will see. I'll put the highlights of this studio on my highlight or my story, so you guys can check it out. Yeah, it's a very high level studio. You know, I used to film on my computer. Now just everything's different and it feels good. It's thank you to you guys. You know, thank you to you guys. And episode 1, we have our first topic, which is mental health, right?
Very broad.
You know, just mental. So we have obviously you guys can't see. So for those of you who are listening our podcast through Apple Podcast or Spotify, any podcast places. So we have a studio setup, and our computer is in front of us. So if you actually saw us, looking down, we're looking over our computer to just make sure that we're hitting all points that we want to talk with you guys, right? So our first topic is mental health. So what is mental health?
Well, mental health, I would say, is different for everyone. It's a very big and broad topic we chose.
Yeah.
But if we are discussing mental health, for me, it's the physical, the mental, the emotional, the support, the struggle, all put in one together.
Yeah.
And it's something that we have noticed very lately, especially during the COVID. I'm sure most of you guys have went through it too. But it's something that is not spoken about. And
I agree.
We come from a background of families that
100%.
this is not a topic at all.
Yeah, it's nothing, right?
It doesn't
I
exist.
know, yeah.
So, deciding to do mental health was a very hard one. I
100%,
believe.
100%. I thought so we went. I was in posting for a bit and we went through a lot of mental health roller coasters and there was a lot of ups and downs. I don't want to go to details of my personal life, but out of the things that I've seen and stuff, I just thought that mental health would be the best fit for this season. Even the time is just really hard with the COVID, with people's, now we're going back to a little bit normal, and you just the way how we're handling it things, and so yeah. So I like the topic that you just mentioned. You said it's in our society, in our the place we grew up, the place we were born. Mental health is not such, a thing. It's not even a thing. Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, if legit, like if you go to your parents and be like, "Oh, my mental health is not like good or something," they'll be like, "What's mental health?" They will literally ask you what mental health is. It's not part of the thing, and that's really hard. So for a lot of people, struggle with that, and we struggle with that too.
Definitely, definitely. It's a big struggle that I have experienced personally, and I'm
Same
sure
like
you've been there
yeah.
too. But the one thing I would like to say is I know we have a broader listeners,
Yeah.
and for those that don't know, we're from Ethiopia.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, we're from Tigray,
Mm-hmm.
in a very place right now that is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And with all that going on, mental health is just becoming a topic.
Yes, a
which
very
is
important topic.
A very, very important topic, especially now, since we have seen what it was before
Mm-hmm.
and what it is now is very different.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to process. And that's one of the issues that was hard for me,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I knew that I wasn't able to reach my family there.
Yeah.
It was one of the struggles I had.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard to explain it to my parents
Yeah.
because I can see they're struggling, but it's
Mhm.
not something they would admit it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's because it's not part of our culture to admit to things like that, and we're gonna talk a lot about that too. But like you said, sometimes things are not in our control, and that's why I feel like one of the biggest mental health issue that brings a mental health issue is when we try to control things that we cannot control. So
I was saying it's a lot of people say therapy is for white people.
that's that stereotype.
And
Yeah.
that stereotyping is what's been killing our society.
Yeah.
And mental health in general is just, first of all, mental health is a disease
Mhm.
that should be known just like, cancer, just like,
Mhm.
diabetes,
Yeah.
blood pressures. Those are diseases.
Yeah.
Just mental health is also another disease.
True.
And therapy is something I did too.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I needed it until I did it.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it. I'll be honest with you guys, the first day I did therapy, I went there for a different reason.
True.
It wasn't truly to get the
help
help.
that you need. Yeah.
because I didn't know I needed the help
I agree.
until I got it,
Mhm.
So when I was there at first, it wasn't real. And then it's just I just talked. That was
Just
just
let
it.
out?
It's just I started talking.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I felt better until a couple more sessions.
Yeah.
And then it's just I started seeing the difference in me.
Yeah.
My different reactions, the different things.
It's
I
a
started
process.
doing. It's a process.
100%.
It doesn't happen in a day. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen in a night.
Yeah.
And there was times where I just broke down,
Mhm.
and that was okay. And I didn't know that was okay until I was able to speak it out
I
and
know.
talk it with my therapist, and
Yeah.
learn that breaking down is actually a process that
Yeah.
helps us. It takes out the negativity inside
Yeah.
us that we've been holding.
Yeah.
And things that I won't admit, but I will tell you guys is that it's okay to cry. I've done it.
She always hides. She always hides when she cries.
I don't do it with people around me. I've been I wouldn't say strong, but independent, very independent,
Yeah.
and very closed for a long time. So this, for me, sharing this is a very personal thing that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, but it's something I want others to learn from me.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
And crying is okay, you know?
Agree.
Letting it out is okay.
I agree.
And there is days that I can still remember that I just cried. And that was it. And that was all I needed.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you're right. Sometimes you don't even sometimes our therapy is we don't even need to go and talk to someone. Sometimes our therapy is in our like in us.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just need to go to for a walk. So I wouldn't do a walk. So if my therapist saw this episode, she would be like, because she always tell me go for a walk or something, but I just don't have the time to actually just go and walk. So I have the time to watch a movie, but I don't have the time to go and walk, and that's a problem. That's the issue that we're gonna talk. How physical health is connected to our mental health. That's a big topic that we're gonna talk about. But like you said, I cry a lot. And I cry, and I don't care if people saw me or not. I try to not cry in front of people, but as long as I trust you, and as long as I think that you are like a close person to me, I don't care crying in front of you. The thing is, I tried to face my emotions, and I think that led me to be like, right now, sometimes you might look like, oh, haha, yeah, I know he's happy, and I know that. That's also another topic that we're gonna talk about. I know.
Yes, we have a lot of topics.
Yes, being happy doesn't mean that you have me laughing like. And then if you saw me crying, you'd be like, oh, Adonay is sad. No, I just wanna let my emotion. So I just wanna whatever got me like mad or something. I just wanna let it out. So you have. That's why I think Betty, like you, kind of people don't cry in front of people because other people who judge and say be like, oh yeah, she's very sad or she's depressed. That's why she's crying, and that's not it. It's not. It's just you want to let it out, and then that doesn't mean that you're depressed or that doesn't mean that you have a problem, right? So I think the judgment of people's had influenced like things in us that we can't do right now. Betty have to go in her bathroom or go to her bedroom and close her door and like cry by herself because of what people say. And in the stereotype that you said too, like therapy as a black man, as a black woman too. When people ask you, friends, even families, when they ask you like, oh, where were you? I'm like, oh, I was in therapy. I'm like, what therapy?
Yeah.
That's other people's thing. It's no offense, but that's what a lot of people say. And the stereotypes also have the influence in people's. And then because of those stereotypes,
it affects us.
It affects us.
We struggle inside.
I know.
That's what's happening, and it's not right,
I know. We shouldn't be struggling on people's just because people can judge us or people can put a stereotype about us. So I want to ask you, right? Okay, this is a hard question.
Questions.
Define pain.
Ooh, that's
a hard one.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
Because pain. See, that's the thing. You can define pain physically. I can punch you in the face and you'd be in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could stab you and you'd be in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Those are physical pains.
Yeah.
That you feel it.
Yeah.
And those are hurtful. They hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you might need more type of medications. To make it better.
Yeah.
And then there is emotional pain where people just say, words don't mean anything. It won't be written on your face, whatever I say to you. But words cut deeper than knife.
Whoa!
And
that's some wisdom words, eh?
And those emotional pains that you have is as equally as painful as being stabbed or punched or cut or whatever you can think of 100%. At this moment. And then there's the mental pain that you can go through without you noticing it.
Yeah.
The drowsing off, the blocking people, separating yourself.
Yeah.
Just putting yourself in a corner of loneliness without you realizing it. That's another form of pain. 100%. So pain is, I would say, it's defined differently in a matter of what you're going through.
Yeah.
So this is very,
I know that's a good way of defining pain. I don't know. I can't define it any way, right? That's exactly. There's two pains. There's a physical pain and a mental pain. And like she said, I feel like sometimes the mental pain is more harder than the physical pain, because the physical pain, you know it. While you're bleeding, you can't say, "Oh, I didn't notice I was bleeding," or "I didn't notice I got stabbed."
I mean, unless you're, high,
No.
drunk off.
Okay, that's different circumstance, right? But what I'm saying is that if you get stabbed or something, you know the pain, and you say, "Oh, I'm in pain." But the mental health pain is something that a lot of people and a lot of, let's say, a lot of teenagers and even a lot of adults don't notice. Is that exactly ignorance too, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes
ignorance.
they notice it, but like they don't want to know about it. And there is times that I'll be like, "Oh, I think I'm sick, but I don't want to go and check because I don't want, like, I don't want to mess up my week or something like that."
I don't know what's going on with me. Yeah.
Yeah, ignorance is also another thing. But like with mental health, there is a ways to cure mental health, or there is a ways to help your mental health. But if you didn't want to like change, or if you don't want to change, or if you don't want to be cured, there's no way you get cured in mental health. I can give you, I don't know, ibuprofen, or I can give you some kind of medication, or I don't know, Panadol or something. You'll be fine. You just have to eat that Panadol, right? But for mental health, it's a process where you admit that you're sick. Admit that, exactly.
Definitely, that's a big step.
I know, admitting, yes. That's a hard step. Is more than anything in mental health, I feel like the hard step is admitting that, oh, I am sick.
Because most of us are in denial. That denial stage is big on all of us.
Yeah.
None of us wants to admit that we can't do it.
And also, I feel like there's a pride too, right? A lot of people have a pride where, I'm not mentally ill.
Definitely.
Mental illness is not. I don't know why. I don't know why people think mental illness or mental health is just a big thing.
I think it's because it's defined badly.
100%.
We've been taught that mental illness, that's the worst you can get.
Yeah.
But isn't cancer the worst you can get too?
I know.
Isn't HIV the worst you can get too? Like how are you giving it a level of bad or good?
I know.
And
then the picture that they feel like when I say mental health, I want you all to comment down below right now. When I say mental health, what comes to your mind? Like what the picture? Like describe the picture.
What's the first thing you feel?
Yeah, I feel like for me, because now I'm educated and I know what mental health is and all of that. But from like perspective that I used to have, when they say mental health is like maybe only being a crazy man, like just going crazy.
The same thing,
right?
Those crazy people we see on the street.
Yeah.
That's
the
what
only.
I can think of. Yeah.
Obviously, that's a mental health issue, but that doesn't mean that that's the only thing what mental health is. Depression is mental health, and depression doesn't mean that a lot of people are depressed. A lot.
Depression is defined in a very wrong way in the society, which is not correct, because depression isn't bad.
Yeah.
I've seen in a lot of people being defined as an insult. You're depressed.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be it, because depression is something, it's a struggle that someone is going through, and it could be, see, in psychology, depression would be defined differently,
Yeah.
And you guys can find the quote under. I'll put the definitions directly from a psychology book for you guys. And
I want. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. And then my computer is connected to different computers. So, so I want to define. I want to define depression. Let's see the actual Google definition of depression, eh?
Yeah, because depression is not. It's a struggle that everybody goes through at least once, and you might get out of it without you knowing it. Depression could be loneliness. Depression could be just having so much on your plate that you don't know what to do.
True.
It's just not knowing where to start.
Okay, so
seek help.
Yeah.
I'm sure in all around the world,
Yeah.
especially America and Canada.
Yeah.
For those of you guys that are in Canada, there is Let's Talk Bell. That's a very 24 hours service that you can find. You just need to Google Let's Talk Bell, and it's one of the services that I have seen that have those services for you. And if you think that you need the help, or if you're not sure if you need the help or not, and can't afford actually going to a therapist,
Yeah.
or don't have the time to do that, it's just a matter of picking up your phone and typing that and texting. How do you start that conversation though? How many of you guys have asked your friends how they're going, like how they handling mentally, if they're okay? Have you guys asked those questions to your friends? Have you ever asked your friends that question?
No.
See, that's a question that took me by surprise from a
Isn't
friend.
it hard to even talk about? I don't know. I find it hard to talk about mental health with some of my friends either.
But that's the thing.
That's
the beauty
the-
of it is you have your friendship.
Yeah.
That should make it easier to talk.
Yeah.
You know? And then what comes after is just how close are you? What kind of closeness do you have? And how much do you care about the other person
Yeah.
for you to ask if they're doing okay mentally?
Yeah.
Because physically it's something that you can see.
Yeah.
If I see you have a bruised face, I'm like, who did this, you know? That's the first thing. I'm not even gonna ask you, are you okay? And I'm like, who did this, you know?
Just noticed that I unplugged this one. That's why.
See? Some things just
You know, it's okay. It's
we all
good.
make mistakes.
Yes.
And we learn from it. We should learn from it.
That's part of
the process.
yeah.
See?
The process.
The process.
We're gonna talk. I feel like today's key word is process.
But
yeah.
more than that, there is, you know, this is the common one. Like we saw on the definitions too. Depression is something we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
And then we always forget that mental illness is a very, very, very big,
Broad.
very, very a lot of sub diseases through it. And for those of you who are in psychology, will learn it. For those of you that are not going for those medical fields, there's a lot that you can search about, and there's a lot of different ways that mental illness can affect you. And one of it is anxiety. For me, that I have been experiencing somewhat these days.
100%, me too.
I could name a whole list. Could be from going back in person to
I feel
school
like-
after 3 years.
I feel like anxiety happened to me like almost every other day. I feel like every other day there is some kind of way that I face anxiety, and it's right now I'm getting used to it.
See, that's one thing.
We shouldn't be,
that
right?
It shouldn't be right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get used to it. Anxiety should heal from it, you know? But I would say there's levels of it that you can
100%. You
you
can
know
manage.
get used to and
Yeah.
learn from it.
Yeah.
And then there's ones that you actually need to seriously consider
Yeah.
it.
I want to ask you a question, right? Okay, we might go off topic for this one. I'm sorry. But the thing is, even with anxiety, I've heard a lot of people, they say like, oh, you can't just say, oh, I used to have anxiety, I used to have depression like a year ago, but I'm okay. And they'll be like, oh, that's not depression. But I feel like, not what I feel first, right? Do you think depression is something that, or depression or anxiety is something that you can get healed with?
If we go scientifically, depression doesn't go away. There's no remission for depression. Depression is an on and off. You don't fully 100% heal from it. Like, let's say cancer, you know, sometimes
you get healed, right?
you get healed.
And then
The cancer is no longer there. Those cells are dead. And
like
some people just, you know, stay like that.
Or stuff,
And then others, it comes back.
Yeah.
And it's very sad and it's very hard going
Yeah.
through the process again. With depression, there's no going away. But the level of your depression changes. Tell you guys that being unique is amazing, and I want you guys to stay unique, to stay yourself, to be true to yourself, to embrace your uniqueness and live it, love it, and enjoy it to the fullest, because you are what makes you, and that's all that matters.
100%.
And
it's you what matters. Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's just, it should create your comfort, and you should live it.
Yeah. Actually, I want to say this too. Build your comfort zone on who you are. You know, don't change who you are to be comfortable in, like around people's.
Try not to fit in.
Yes.
Make it your bubble.
Yes.
And
make them fit in. Don't fit in on other people's group. But
no.
Yeah, that's just something. So we have to wrap up today's session.
Yeah, it looks like we went a little bit overboard. It's just
It might be a lot of talking today, but I promise you for the next episodes and stuff, it's gonna be more fun. We're gonna have people too, but this is the first intro episode, so we wanna just explore the things that we're gonna be talking about the whole season.
It's gonna be more
engaging. Yeah, 100%. And then this is the first episode, and then after the next episodes and stuff, you guys will comment. We'll engage with you guys. So yeah, and then we have one question. Betty have one question that
before wrapping up.
Yeah.
I'd like to touch on and then define it on the next one.
Yeah.
Answer the question on the next one.
Yeah.
I think define happiness to you. And would you like to tell them a little bit about next episode?
Our next episode guest, we've been trying to bring her for almost since last season, so it's a great guest, and we're very happy for her. We're gonna talk about
have her here.
Yeah,
we'll not tell you too much.
No,
it's gonna be a very good surprise.
A very professional person too. So,
but I'm sure you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah.
And thank you for
watching.
Tuning in.
Yes, thank you for
Definitely.
tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to share, and if you're
Spread
in YouTube, please hit the notification bell so that you guys can be notified every time we post a new videos. If you're listening in Apple Podcasts or Spotify, anywhere audio, if you want to see our video, you'll find it on our YouTube channel. And if you're just want to listen it, and if you're watching it on our YouTube channel, go check it out, and our Spotify or Apple Podcast, any place where you can listen to podcasts.
You're listening. You know? We'll be dropping it once a week.
Yes,
right?
so we should be dropping it every week. So make sure to keep up with us, and we thank you for your support. Thank God and thank for you guys. This won't happen without you guys and without God's grace, right?
And this could only happen by your effort, by sharing, spreading it, and the more we have viewers, the more we can see that we're reaching people, making a difference. Even if it's for one person, it means a lot to us. And we depend on your support, and we know that you guys have been very, very supportive throughout the first season, and we know that you guys will make the second season even more amazing.
So right now, look at the upgrade, you guys, come on. We're upgrading a lot of things, we're growing, so we want our fan base to grow too. So thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next episode.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, peace out.